Today, today we're going to be exploring the theme of silence and stillness. We've spent a lot of time meditating on the use of the breath, on the body, and on loving kindness. And a big part of the practice happens to be stillness and silence. For busy professionals in particular, we tend to be caught up in everything that we need to do and everything that we need to be for everyone around us. We tend to look at productivity as the pinnacle of achievement, when really what we need to do sometimes is to slow down and to honor things like rest and stillness and silence. So before we begin, although you may be watching virtually, I'd like us to take some time to arrive together. So asking ourselves, how are you arriving today? What are you feeling? What are you holding? What is um, present in your mind or on your mind today? So taking just a moment or two to offer yourself that space. And then thinking about how we might offer ourselves some resource during the practice. And what I mean by that is at any time in your meditation, in your attempt to turn inward and pay attention to your own experience, that can sometimes feel very uncomfortable. It can sometimes feel a little bit scary. And when we think about resourcing, that means going into that experience with something that you can turn to as a way to return to a feeling of safety. So that might mean opening your eyes, looking away from the screen, moving your arms a little bit. It might mean thinking about a particular person or place or thing that makes you feel safe. So before we get into our practice of stillness and silence, I want to say a little bit more about that it can feel a little uncomfortable for lots of reasons. It can feel awkward. We can feel the urge to fill up the space with chatter, internal or external. And I encourage you tonight to lean into that feeling. So tonight's meditation, more so than we have had in previous meditations, will come with moments of prolonged silence and stillness, physical stillness, which leads the way for many times an inner stilling and silence to occur. But this silence is significant because it's this silence that allows you to make room for your inner experience. In a world that is constantly demanding our attention, demanding us to respond or to perform or to care or to produce, it's silence that allows us the space to hear ourselves again. When we pause and we let everything settle, we get an opportunity to notice what's actually present. Our own thoughts, our emotions, sensations, memories, even things like absence, maybe feeling numbness or exhaustion. And knowing that whatever is arising in our experience when we take the time to listen, that it's important and that it has something to teach us. So let's start with a little bit of breath meditation. So I invite you, wherever you are, to find yourself in a comfortable position. That might be in a comfortable seat, it might be lying down, but allowing yourself to physically get settled so that wherever you are, you can embody that physical stillness that we're talking about. And then taking a moment to feel wherever it is that you've landed, feeling your body supported by whatever surface is beneath you, supporting you, inviting some softness into your body, loosening your jaw, your shoulders, relaxing between your eyebrows, and then turning your attention to your breath and just noticing it without any attempt to change it, and just listening to the breath as it fills up the space. And as your awareness is focused on your breath, you may notice that this breath is present for you in the inhale and exhale at your nose, maybe in the rising and the falling of your chest or your belly. Or you might experience your breath as a sensation of the whole body breathing. Whatever your experience of your breath might be, wherever it feels most vibrant for you, just know that the breath, like every other human being, is one constant that we can hold on to, that we can return to during moments of distress or any moment at all. And if you find that your mind starts to wander, or you're having a difficult time focusing on your breath or on the silence and stillness that you've created, know that that's okay. And you can simply, gently, and without judgment, return your awareness back to your breath in this instance, back to the silence that you've created for yourself, the stillness. Another useful resource during this practice is perhaps to place a hand on your heart or on your belly, allowing that gentle holding to happen as you continue to breathe in this natural state for just a few more minutes. And maybe in this silence and stillness, you recognize that there isn't actually silence at all, that in this silence is your breath. In this silence are things that you may not have paused long enough to hear before. In this silence and this stillness, we're pausing long enough to listen inward to what your body might be telling you that it needs, what your spirit might be telling you that it needs. In this way, silence and stillness is never empty. It can be a container, a space for your body's wisdom to speak, for your breath to lead, for release, or for whatever this time brings you, because there is no right or wrong experience. Again, if you find that your mind tends to wander away from your breath, away from this invitation for silence and stillness, note that that's okay. And that we simply, in those moments, redirect our awareness to the present moment. Very often, thoughts and memories might rise in these occasions. And the invitation here is to simply notice those too, important or significant as they may be. Notice them and allow them to pass. Trying not to follow thoughts into future worries or memories, into past concerns or experiences. Allowing yourself to be anchored here in the present moment with your breath or with your body. Bringing your awareness to that hand that you placed on your heart or on your belly. Returning your awareness to whatever's holding you, the chair, the feeling of your feet on the ground. Even the sounds in your environment. Cultivating silence and stillness within yourself doesn't mean that we get to cultivate that in the world around us. So you may hear the sound of your family in the other room, traffic as it goes by. And again, allowing those noises to move in your awareness and to move out again without following them. And at any point, if you start to feel unsettled by this experience of silence and stillness, there are things that you can do to bring a sense of safety back into your body. You can try opening your eyes if they're closed, gazing around the room, or bringing your awareness to whatever resource you first identified at the beginning of the meditation. And then, whenever you're feeling ready, perhaps re engaging with closing your eyes, returning your awareness to your breath. But knowing that your meditation is not a mountain to climb. It's not something to achieve or something to check off your list. It's just a moment for you to settle into being without having to do. And if you're ready, I'd like to transition us just a little bit away from the watching of our breath to a gentle inquiry of the body. So much of our ability to find rest and stillness and silence lives in the body. And so paying attention to what's here right now might bring insight, might bring comfort, it might bring things that we can't name. So I invite you to bring your attention to the top of your head and allowing your mind's eye to explore this area, your scalp, the feeling of your hair, if you have any, as it touches your skin, bringing that mind's eye down to your face, releasing any tension that you might have between your eyes and your jaw, and then moving that awareness down to your neck and shoulders, noticing what's present here too. Is there a tightness, a clenching, a heaviness? And is it possible to soften around whatever is arising for you right now? Is it possible to embrace an acceptance of the body exactly as it is in this very moment without needing to change or alter it? And then continuing to scan down the body to your chest, your arms, your belly, and noticing whatever arises. You might feel sensations of tightness, heaviness, numbness, maybe relaxation. And then continuing to make your way down the body to your hips, your legs, your knees, your feet. And noticing what arises. and allowing that to be there, even as we soften around it, as we accept the body just as it is. And then taking the body as a whole in your awareness, noticing if there's anywhere along the way that draws your attention in particular. It might be your arms, your chest, your shoulders. And asking yourself, what might this part of me be holding? And is it something that I can release? Or maybe just set aside for a little while. Again, an invitation to embrace the practice of silence and stillness, even when the urge exists to do otherwise. And if you find that your mind has started to wander, simply redirect your attention back to right here and right now, anchoring to whatever feels most accessible to you, whether that be your breath or your body. Allowing yourself a reprieve from the constant need to do, to achieve, to perform, and allowing yourself to just have the pleasure of being, of resting, of releasing. And when you're ready, let's transition back to the body and back to the feeling of those touch points, those physical touch points of whatever is beneath us, holding us. The feeling of your feet on the ground, a chair supporting your back, a pillow under your head, and then back to wherever your breath felt most alive for you, returning to a sensation of the whole body breathing, or maybe back to noticing the rising and falling of your chest, or the sensation of breath as it enters into and exits out of your nose. Slowly, slowly calling ourselves back to the here and now, the physical space in which we're practicing. Maybe allowing sounds back into your experience. Maybe slowly blinking your eyes open and gazing around the room to reorient yourself to the here and now. And if you found this particularly restful or found yourself drowsing, know that that also is very, very normal. When we give ourselves permission to rest and the body needs it, it will take it. It might be helpful to slowly drop your head from side to side. On an inhale, maybe bringing your arms above your head, filling your chest up with air, or bringing whatever other gentle movement that your body might need to re enter your day or your evening. And I always start the sessions by asking where people are now, how they're feeling, what they're holding, so that after a meditation, after a session, that there's an opportunity for reflection. That could be internal reflection, or maybe you like to journal. I leave that to you. But asking yourself what emerged when you allowed yourself some space for silence and stillness. Whatever you were holding at the beginning of the practice, how does that feel now? Does it still feel heavy? Does it feel like something that you might at some point be ready to release? And there's no pressure to come to any conclusion or to have had any kind of experience. This period of reflection should really be an extension of your meditation practice, where there's no right or wrong, there's no judgment, there's simply noticing what your experience holds. And as we come to the end of our time together at 7:30, I want to say thank you to those who are in the Zoom space with us, and for those who might be watching from YouTube. I wish you peace. I wish you joy. And I wish you a wonderful, wonderful evening. If anybody would like to say anything, whether it's in chat or unmuting, the space is open and welcome for your voices.
I just want to say thank you, Dr. Morrison. I definitely needed this space. I've been rushing all day just to slow down, and your voice is so soothing. So I appreciate you.
My pleasure, as always. And just as a reminder for everyone in the room, when I open up the space for your voices, it's never an expectation that you need to or have to speak. After a meditation, it's very common that people just want to extend that sense of silence and that sense of peace. So I wish you all a wonderful evening. Megan? Hello, little one. Little voice is welcome too. Well, I wish you all a wonderful evening. I wish you peace, and I will see you again next month. Take care.